Hello everyone. Today we will be learning about the transmission of nerve impulse through a nerve fiber. Okay, fine. But before going to that, we first have to understand these few terms which we will be using throughout this chapter. Okay, stimulus. What is stimulus? Stimulus refers to stimulus refers to any sudden change in the internal or external environment. Okay, any sudden change in the internal or external environment which causes a change in the body. Okay, which causes a change in the body. uh, let's take an example. Okay, you are studying on your study table, and suddenly a mosquito comes and bites your hand. Okay, so what is your sudden response? You just realize that the stomach is biting, and you just use your other hand and slap it. Okay, so the moment when you realized that the stomach was biting, you felt the stinging sensation on your skin where the stomach was biting. That was the stimulus. That is, your body noticed that something is wrong here. Okay, fine. Now, what is response? What is response? The change that occurs in the body due to the stimulus is called response. Okay, in this scenario, when you realize that the stomach is biting, sorry, when you realize that the mosquito is biting you, you used your other hand to slap it, right? So the usage of your other hand to slap it was your response. You responded by killing the mosquito. Okay, so the change in the body due to the stimulus is called response. Fine. Now, what is impulse? Impulse. Impulse refers to an electrical disturbance. Yes, it's an electrical disturbance that passes over the nerve cell. It is an electrical disturbance that passes over the nerve cell. Okay. When I say electrical disturbance, it doesn't mean that you know, electrons are not involved in this case. Okay, it's not like an electric wire. Electrons are not involved. In this case, we are dealing with ions. Okay, fine. So impulse refers to an electrical disturbance that passes over the nerve cell. Okay, fine. Now, what is receptor? Receptor. Receptors are specialized cells which receive the stimulus. Okay, they receive the stimulus. These specialized cells are generally epithelial cells. Okay, they receive the stimulus and send a impulse. Okay, they send an impulse to the brain and spinal cord. Fine. Now, what is effector? Effectors are certain muscles or glands. Okay, certain muscles or glands which receive an electrical impulse from the brain or spinal cord and either contract or secrete some substance. In case of muscles, they will either contract or relax, and if it is a gland, it will secrete some substance. Okay, so effectors are certain muscles or glands which receive impulse from the brain and spinal cord, and it either contracts or relaxes if it's a muscle, and secretes some substances if it's a gland. Okay, fine. So we are done with these terms. We will be using these terms throughout this chapter. Fine. Now let us understand how an electrical impulse or how a nerve impulse is transmitted over a nerve cell. Fine. What you see here, it is an axon. Okay, you remember there were three major parts of a neuron: the cell body or cyton, or perikaryon, the axon, the long process that arises from the cytosol, and the axon terminal or axon ending. Okay, so this is the axon. Okay, this is the axon. This axon is in common terms the axon is also called as a nerve fiber. Okay, it is also called as a nerve fiber, right? So, and one more thing, remember that inside this axon there is cytoplasm. Okay, just like any other cell, uh, there is cytoplasm inside this axon. There is cytoplasm inside this axon, and in these two structures, these are the cell membranes. Okay, these are the cell membranes. Although this cytoplasm has a special name, since it is the cytoplasm of an axon, it is called as exoplasm. Okay, the cytoplasm of axon is called exoplasm. Okay, and the cell membrane is called as exolemma. Exo Exolemma. Fine. Okay. Okay. Now we will understand how this nerve impulse is transmitted over the nerve fiber. Okay. Fine. Uh, in normal resting state, in normal resting state, the nerve fiber is in a polarized state. The normal resting state of a nerve fiber is called as polarized state. Okay. In polarized state, there is positive charge outside the axon and there is negative charge inside the axon. Okay, there is positive charge outside and negative charge inside. Fine. Why there is positive charge outside? It is due to the presence of Na plus ions. Okay, it is due to the presence of Na plus ions. Sodium ions are present outside the axon, so it has a positive charge. Okay, so Na plus ions are present outside the axon. And why is there negative charge inside? Negative charge is due to presence of certain negatively charged proteins inside the axon. Okay, there are certain negatively charged proteins inside the axon which give it a negative charge. Okay, fine. And remember one thing, this axolemma or cell membrane, it is permeable to sodium ions. Yes, the axolemma is permeable to sodium ions, but it is impermeable to this negatively charged ions. Okay, it is impermeable to this negatively charged ions. Okay, fine. Now let us understand, this is the polarized state. Okay, there is positive charge outside and negative charge inside. Now what happens if I suddenly give a stimulus to this region? If I suddenly give a stimulus to this region of the nerve fiber, this region loses its normal state or loses its polarized state and becomes a depolarized. Okay, it becomes depolarized. What happens when I suddenly gave a stimulus to this region? This positive charge, the sodium ions, got inside and these negative charges went outside. Okay, how this happened? When a stimulus is given to some part of the nerve fiber, that part of the nerve fiber where the stimulus is given, there the axolemma or the cell membrane becomes more permeable to Na plus ions. Okay, the part where the stimulus is given to the nerve fiber, the axolemma of that part or the cell membrane of that part becomes more permeable to sodium ions, so it allows the sodium ions to get inside. Okay, so the sodium ions got inside. Fine. And since it came inside, the negative ions just went outside. Fine. This region, this depolarized region, is called as the excited region. This region is called as the excited region, where the positive charge is inside and the negative charge is outside. Fine. Why it happened? Because due to increase in permeability of the exolemma to the sodium ions, the sodium ions suddenly came inside. So this region suddenly became depolarized or became the excited region. Fine. Now this excited region, okay, now this excited region, okay, this region is called as the excited region. Okay. Now this excited region itself, yes, this excited region itself acts as a stimulus. Yes, it acts as a stimulus for the next normal region. This excited region acts as a stimulus for the next normal region to also become excited. What I mean to say is, this excited region stimulates this normal region to also get excited. It just depolarizes this region. Okay, see what happened here. This was the excited region. This region stimulated this next region to also become excited. Okay, so now this next region, this region which was here, this region was normal, but under the influence due to this excited region, this region has now become excited as well. Okay, now you may be wondering how this previous region which was excited here got back into normal state. How did it get back to normal? Okay, what happens when this stimulus was passed over to the next region, this region, this previous region becomes repolarized. Okay, it becomes repolarized. It becomes repolarized. Repolarized means, I mean, how it happens, these sodium ions which were present inside, were removed outside. Okay, these sodium ions which were present inside were removed outside through a process called active transport. Okay, they were removed outside through a process called active transport. You know active transport? Active transport is the process by which you use energy, energy generally in the form of ATP. Okay, energy is generally used in the form of ATP. ATP means adenosine triphosphate. Okay, ATP means adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate is a energy containing molecule. Okay, it's an energy containing molecule. Fine. So these sodium ions that were present inside were pumped outside or were removed outside through the use of energy in the form of ATP. Okay, through the use of energy in the form of ATP. Fine. This method, okay, this method by which these sodium ions are pumped outside, okay, this method by which these sodium ions are pumped outside of the from inside the axon is called as sodium pump. This method by which we pumped out the sodium ions outside, okay, this method is called as sodium pump. Okay, sodium pump. Fine. Okay, so what is in a nutshell, what can you say, what is what do you mean by the transmission of nerve impulse? You can say that transmission of nerve impulse or conduction of nerve impulse is a wave of depolarization followed by repolarization. Okay, it is a wave of depolarization followed by repolarization. Okay, first this polarized state is lost, this region becomes depolarized, or you can call it excited region. Okay, this region becomes depolarized, then this region again becomes repolarized, that is back to normal state. Fine. So transmission of nerve impulse is a wave of depolarization followed by repolarization. Okay, fine. So I hope you understood all that. Okay, fine. Thank you for watching.